spoken word poet. I'm a spoken word poet who uses words poetically to tell a story. My story, your story. But you must hear it in my voice and see me become the poem instead of reading it off a page. Because once it is spoken, it becomes a little less mine and a little bit yours. Feel free to take it home, give it new shape, new bones, new meaning, new perspective. See, I've always been drawn to poetry, even as early as 6 years old, when I asked my grandmother if dead people could still hear. She slapped me. So I took my questions and my observations about the world to my notebooks. In their pages, I saw possibility, I found a friend, I felt like I could finally speak my truth. So I wrote love letters to trees, complained about boys who wouldn't love me back, asked questions about my body and cajoled myself on nights when there were no answers. When I'm trying to think of the first time that I ever attended a spoken word poetry gig, I remember standing right in the front, my eyes wide open, filled with awe. I laughed at the funny bits. I bobbed my head to the rhythm of the words. I wept at the poet's heartbreak. And it felt like each poet there was speaking just to me. And I had never experienced anything so powerful. It is really the most amazing feeling to have words put across to an audience. When I started becoming conscious of my own writing and the impact that it could have on an audience, I started to stress out and worry about memorizing my poems verbatim. I used to kick myself for forgetting a line or a metaphor that I thought was important. Thankfully, I no longer feel that stress. I no longer worry about knowing my poems word for word. Instead, I sit with the lines that resonate to the deepest corners of my soul and wonder why they made me feel a certain way. When I'm preparing for a gig, I go a little bit crazy. I speak the poems to myself while performing the most mundane tasks like doing the dishes. I record my voice and play it on repeat. I fill pages and notebooks with poetry. I pace up and down as if in a frenzy, and I try very hard to become the poem, knowing that when I am on a stage, there are no boundaries. Knowing that it's not about just my memory or the poetry, I am the poem, and the poem is me. When I come across poems in old notebooks, they no longer mean what they meant when I wrote them. They no longer resemble the version that I perform today, because just like me, the poem is evolving. It is changing shape and rediscovering itself. And trust me, there's no greater joy or freedom than that knowledge of knowing that a poem is never finished. It could be perfect one day and feel incomplete the next. I could forget having written it, or never perform it again, or perform it differently every single time. When I come across poems in old notebooks, I just look at it as possibility. One day, I stumbled on a poem that I had started writing in my 20s. It was about falling in love with a friend who had no idea what he meant to me. And here I was, well into my 30s, still feeling this love for this person. So I took the half poem and I finished it. The result is further proof that we are all just becoming. That the finality of loss is a continuous process, and just like my poems, we're making these choices every single day. The poems are not finished, And neither are we. I know. I know that we can always pick up where we left off. But I wish that you would stop leaving me with half-filled thoughts and almost certain feelings. I search my memory for the familiarity of your sound, your voice, your smile. I listen to the blues and wonder if we sighed at the same lines, and if we did, if our souls smiled in unison, if we are that intertwined, why am I holding myself tonight? I see you in hazy pictures, shades of gray interspersed with colors so bright that it hurts my eyes. And every flash that captures your life is unmitigating proof that I am not part of it, that I can hope to have no claim in it. Yet I find myself lingering, holding books and telephones with a longing for you, a longing that has gone unnoticed for so long that neither of us find it encumbering. You speak to me in broken sentences, give me half conversations, fleeting glimpses of an honesty too quickly swept into the shadows, and when you are gone, I gather all the pieces of you and wonder when this puzzle will resolve itself. My memory serves up reminders of you. My home is just a reflection of all the surfaces you once interacted with, and my poetry spilling out of every crack and crevice as I break and rebuild and step into the light. You are living, breathing proof that I exist, that my fears are both justified and unwarranted. The only voice that can bring me back from the brink of oblivion. I know that we can always pick up where we left off, effortlessly navigating the trajectory of our lives, month-long silences dissipating in a matter of seconds, years that have passed but have not passed us by. And we are stubborn reminders of what love couldn't be and what didn't materialize. So I know that we can pick up wherever we left off, but maybe, just maybe, we've said too many goodbyes. Thank you so much.